What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Run It Up podcast. I'm your host, Najee Adams. You know, I got my guy with me today, Jalaal Sandy. How you doing? Consistent kings we've been. So shout out.
I'm trying to turn down my TV right now.
Yeah, you good?
There we go.
You good?
Chilling, bro. Chilling. Making sure y'all don't hear Kevin Harlan in the background.
Nah, you good. You good. This is like 4 or 5 straight weeks for us. So I'm proud of us. Shout out to us grinding, trying to keep the streak alive.
Keep hope alive.
Keep hope alive. Yeah. Make sure you guys subscribe to Run It Up Podcast. Everywhere the podcasts are found. You find us on YouTube at the Run It Up Podcast. You find us on Twitter at Run It Up Pod. You find me on Twitter at Najee_, Jalal at JSandy45_. On TikTok. A couple of our TikToks did pretty well recently. I think we just uploaded a Should the Celtics Trade Jalen Brunson? Not Jalen Brunson, Jalen Brown. And we uploaded a Should the Celtics Trade for Kevin Durant? That both did good. The comments, people are like, oh my God.
People hate KD. People hate KD, bro. Nobody wants the first comment on the KD one was nobody wants KD. Huh?
Somebody said
he's on an expiring deal. I feel like he's more attractive than some other old star like DeMar DeRozan or some shit.
Bro, people just like to get on TikTok and argue, bro. Someone said podcast equipment should be illegal, or someone else said,
our ladies hopped under the comments.
Yeah. I was like, you know,
that's what Chris was like, enough.
Someone else said, TikTok ball knowledge is an epidemic. I'm like, yo, bro, what did we say that was not correct? Like,
said nothing crazy.
Yeah, but yeah, so make sure y'all go check out the TikTok. If you agree with us, getting that down there and defend us, gang, because we don't be commenting back. Like, I'm not finna sit here and argue with you in the TikTok. I appreciate the view, I appreciate the comment. That's all I give a fuck about. So
we just trolling the comments, honestly.
Yeah.
Like you say I suck, I say you suck. I don't even know if people realize it's us.
It's us.
We just be in the comments bullshit, but it is what it is.
Go check out the TikTok. Today, we got a little bit of a kind of jam-packed NBA episode. We're going to talk finals preview. We're going to assume that it is Thunder Pacers, but we're also going to give our thoughts on if it was Thunder Knicks. So just we cover the bases. We're going to talk our top 10 NBA players heading into next season. Since Shea won the MVP, been seeing some debates. So we're going to give our thoughts on a 2025 Shea MVP season versus the 2007-2008 Kobe Bryant season, and kind of talk about who we think had the more impressive season. We're going to do a couple player would you rathers, and then lastly, we're going to end the pod off with, is USA basketball cooked for 2028? Because I've been seeing some discourse as well that the roster that we're going to be able to put together is horrible and that we're going to get smacked. And I just don't think that's the case. So we're going to talk about it in 2028. We're going to talk about it today, but it's the 2028 roster. But before we do that, got to do song of the week. So Jalaal, what you got for me this week?
So my song, I actually have 2 songs for you. I got a bonus song. First song is going back to hip hop. Haven't done one of those in a while. Not usually my cup of tea, but I do listen to this artist a lot. He's one of my. I just turn him on and bump in the whip, and we just keep it pushing. No, Key Glock.
Close enough.
He just dropped the album, I want to say 2 weeks ago. The song is called Blue Devil. And the sample on the song is that song Stay Fly by 3 6 Mafia. Fire sample flip. Key Glock don't be saying much of anything, but he talk about money, talk about cars, and his women. That's it. So shout out to Key Glock. Bonus song. The only reason I have a bonus song is because at least 3 or 4 straight days last week or this week, when I clicked the shuffle button, this song came on for 3-4 days straight. So a song is maybe my favorite song by this artist, January 28th by J. Cole. Brother, that shit came on 4 straight days. And I was like, okay, clearly the universe tried to tell me something. So
that's a banger.
It is, yeah.
My song of the week is actually a bit of a I don't know, it's out of the ordinary for me. It's a country song. It's by Morgan Wallen. His album just released recently. Problematic individual, but makes a damn good song. So my song of the week is I'm the Problem. It's off his last album currently. It came out literally last week, I think. And it's also the name of the album, I'm the Problem. It's the number one song. It's the first song I listened to. It also went viral on TikTok. Like before he had released it, I had heard like the snippets. I want to say Malik Neighbors made a TikTok with the song, and I was like, damn, my goat listening to Morgan Wallen. So then I looked up if the song was out yet, and it hadn't been out. And so when he released it, finally, I'm like, damn, I gotta listen to it. And it is pretty good. So it is by Morgan Wallen. It's called I'm the Problem. It's a decent song. So yeah, go check out the songs of the week. No hip hop, no Hurricane Wisdom, no Sleepy Hollow,
Thank
no
God,
Kyle
no,
Rich
thank God.
for me this year.
If we were able to do sound bites, I'd be hitting the applause, the horns, all that shit, bro. Thank the Lord. Be here throwing on some bullshit.
So yeah, that's my song of the week. Guess we can go ahead and dive into our NBA Finals preview. So the Oklahoma City Thunder have advanced to the NBA Finals after smoking the Minnesota Timberwolves in 5 games. And the Knicks and Pacers are currently battling out to be the opponent. The Pacers are up 3-1 as we record this. The Knicks and Pacers are playing right now. I want to say, based on what I'm hearing, the Knicks are winning. Yes, the Knicks are up 50-38. So maybe the series
doesn't
gets tied
mean much of anything.
Yeah, maybe the series gets tied.
The Pacers don't really go away.
No. And we've already seen a 20-point comeback from this series from the Knicks and an insane 7-second whatever the Pacers did in game 1. So
17-point comeback in 3 minutes.
Yeah. So it doesn't really matter. But we're going to talk about what we think the outcome would be for both matchups. We can start with the Pacers since I guess they're the highest likelihood of advancing since they are up 3-1. And so, yeah, if we did get a Pacers Thunder finals, how would you think it will work out for us?
For us?
Well, not for us, but like.
Well, I think Pacers OKC is great hoops, just like in general. I think they both embody what the direction that the NBA is trying to go on with this new CBA. Both teams are run at least 8-9 deep, can go 10 deep if needed. They both have great coaches. Rick Carlisle is a championship head coach. Mark Daigneault, I think I finally pronounced his name right, is also a great coach. And both teams have similar styles of playing. There's obviously with OKC, you know that Shea's going to eat. But honestly, some nights you don't know if the second option is going to be Chet, if it's going to be J-Dub. Hartenstein might get involved. Caruso might get involved. It's the same thing with the Pacers. Like on any given night, anybody can lead the team in scoring. You have Siakam leading the team, Haliburton, Nesmith, Mathurin. Like they have so many guys that can give you at least like 10 points and on a hot night give you 20 to 25. So just from a watching standpoint, I think this would be the more enjoyable series. I know 2 small market teams, 2 nasty cities. I get it. But as someone who loves basketball, like that is the series I want. I do not want to watch Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns try to ISO their way through this OKC defense. Like the ISO thing does not work. We've seen it did not work with the OKC, even though he damn near pulled it off. Ant was in hell for 5 straight games. And I think like OKC's defense is so good, bro. Like I don't remember the last time I watched a team where it's like every bad pass you throw is getting stolen. Every single one. Like it's either getting tipped out of bounds or it's getting stolen. And they've got guards that press you full court. Alex Caruso is going over every screen. Cason Wallace going over every screen. Shea doesn't have to guard the 1 or the 2 sometimes. He can guard a 2 or a 3. J-Dub is guarding 3s and 4s. They can take Hartenstein out the game and put Chet at the 5. Like, they are unbelievable defensively. And I don't know if people are giving them the credit that they deserve right now because of the way it looks. Like a lot of teams, and I don't understand this argument, a lot of teams, they like you expect teams to just run through the playoffs. These guys just got to learn how to win. Like I just had this argument last night, but people think that like because the Celtics just ran through the East last year that like every champion, a great team is just supposed to be dominant. The 2008 Celtics went 7 with the Atlanta Hawks in the first round and then went 7 with the Cavs in the second round. So I mean, and that's a great team, all-time great team. So it doesn't really matter how it looks to me as long as you get the job done. And they have the MVP. They have maybe too much for Indiana. I would say if I had to make a prediction right now, I'd go OKC in 6, but like wouldn't be surprised if it was 5.
Yeah.
They just look so much better than everybody else.
Yeah. I think that if I'm giving my prediction on OKC and the Pacers, I don't even understand people saying like they haven't breathed, like they've had trouble in the playoffs, because like other than the Nuggets, I think they've been pretty consistently dominant. And even games versus the Nuggets, they were smacking them at points during that series.
And they spanked them twice.
They spanked them twice.
Game 2 and Game 5, I want to say. Or not Game 5, Game 4. Something like that. Game
1 was the game where they fouled up 3 and they ended up losing. Like theoretically, they should have won that game. Like it could have looked way worse for the Nuggets. And like,
but I don't think that series. I don't want to cut you off. I don't think that series is to OKC's detriment. They were playing the best player in basketball, bro. Like, and Aaron Gordon was playing out of his mind. So I mean, that just it's a testament to Jokic's greatness. On top of Aaron Gordon playing really well, Jamal Murray giving you that explosion 30-point game. It's not easy to beat these teams that have won championships in the past. Like, there was a reason why growing up, every time the Spurs were in the playoffs, we're like, don't sleep on the Spurs, bro. Don't sleep on the Spurs, because we know that they know how to win. They know how to adjust during the playoffs. But yeah, continue. I don't know. People just sit here and act like they've never watched basketball before, and it pisses me off, bro. Like, we ain't been sitting here watching basketball for 20 years. Like, we know what it is.
I just think that like they have looked as dominant as I think they should have. Like, the best player in the world gave them issues. I think they needed to overcome that series, that player, that team, in order to become who the players that they will be. Like, looking at it, they swept the Grizzlies. They beat the Nuggets in a convincing 7, and they beat the Wolves in 5. Like, they are currently 4-8-12. They're 12-4 in the playoffs right now. Like, that's really, really good, bro. Like, that's insanely good. I look at, like, if I look at the Pacers, I do think it would be a really, really good series, just because I think they're probably the 2 deepest teams in basketball right now. Yeah, like, and just offensively, like, I think they're 2 of the top 3 offenses left throughout the playoffs. Like, I think the Thunder score the second most per game in the playoffs, and the Pacers score the third most. So like, I think it would be a high scoring affair. Granted, like, the Thunder might just shut that shit down, but like, I think that it should be fireworks all around. Like, there's just a larger caliber and quantity of good players if we get Pacers Thunder. Like, just thinking about good players in the series, there's like 16, 17 good players that you can like just
solid guys, bro.
Yeah. Like, I don't know that you could say that if we talk Thunder Knicks. I do think that Thunder defensively are one of the better teams we've seen in a very long time.
In a while.
And I think people kind of get weird saying that, because it's like, damn, like, we don't want to put that on them too soon, but they really don't have a lot of weaknesses defensively. They have good rim protectors. They have good point of attack guys. They have good guys running through screens. They have good guys who, if you just want to be physical, they have guys that don't foul a ton. Like, they just have everything that you need when it comes to like building a defensive juggernaut. And so I think that I just don't see a lot of weaknesses for them. And I think the Pacers they run with pace. They play with pace. Tyrese Haliburton is probably the best pure playmaker we have in the league, by easily the best playmaking guard. I think him and Jokic are the best playmakers we have in the league currently.
I wouldn't put him over Jokic.
No. I won't put him over Jokic. But like, the things he does without turning the ball over, though, it's crazy. Bro. It's not like
this is why when we were talking about him last week or a couple weeks ago, I'm like, he's of that like Chris Paul, Steve Nash mold, but it's so hard to evaluate that, because it's, do you want a pure point guard? Like these don't come around often anymore. Point guards are now averaging 25 plus. Like the elite guards are scoring 25 a game. Like the last of that elk that we've seen was like Chris Paul, Rondo, maybe like John Wall a little bit, but it's just a rare playing style for today's NBA. But it works for him because he was able to translate some of, I guess, what other guys lack into shooting. Like a lot of pure playmakers in the past couldn't shoot, and he can shoot no matter how funky it looks. And not being able to turn the ball over is so huge, bro. Like I don't think people understand that when you have guys that aren't turnover machines, especially your point guard, and he's the engine of your team, like it just helps everybody else out. It takes so much pressure off of the wings that need, like Siakam looks like he's playing so free.
Yeah, and I think that I just think that the Thunder are just way better than every team that's left standing. Like I thought they were gonna run through the West, and they pretty much did, and they've given me no reason to think that that's not going to continue. I will say with Tyrese Haliburton, like the only I won't put him as a playmaker over Jokic, because I think like just the looks that Jokic sees and like the attention that he commands on offense is probably unlike any player in the NBA. But I do think like the ability to make the passes that Hallie makes and not turn the ball over is like pretty rare. Like we were just talking about it. Like he's third all time in career games with 15 plus assists and 0 turnovers. Second is Chris Paul. First is John Stockton. Hallie has 11. Chris Paul has 13. John Stockton has 14. Chris Paul's been in the league 20 years. John Stockton played for 19 years. This is Hallie's 5th season. So like
that is crazy, but that is due to pace of play. That is due to the pace.
It is,
like
but it's still impressive.
The 0 turnovers is very impressive, but like getting 15 assists is way easier than it was 15 years ago. Like Chris Paul getting 15 assists when he is great, and John Stockton getting 15 assists in the 90s is nuts.
Yeah, and like also players just now are better. So like you're passing the ball to better players. You know, like the shot making is like better. You know, like everybody's doing. It's easier to score on all levels. But regardless, like I'm not going to take that away from him because it's not his fault. This is the era he playing. You know, like he excels in what he does. And so I think Hallie is a great player. This is not to take anything away from him, but like I just don't think the Thunder have a weakness. There's no switch hunting against them. Like, oh, you want to switch? You want to switch off of SGA to switch on to Jalen Williams? Good luck. You want to switch off to get Lou Dort? Good luck. You want to switch off to get Alex Caruso? You want to get Chet? You want Isaiah Hartenstein is probably the best case scenario, and they would just take him off the floor. So like, good luck. I just don't really know what you're supposed to do. So for me, I personally say Thunder in 5. I think Hallie gets them 1. But I also wouldn't be shocked if they just sweep them. I was
about to say, bro, I could see them sweeping both of these teams.
Yeah.
But I do think the Thunder always seem to be lined up for at least one stinker where they just can't get shit going. So, and you know, Indiana at home, they play like the 2018 Warriors. But I wanted to play like a quick game. So because this was inspired by the conversation I referred to last night. So just give me any great team through, I'll say since 2000, because I don't want you thinking way back. And I'll tell you if they had to go through 7-game series to get to their championships.
Okay.
I'm not even looking it up. I'm just going to guess.
If you had to go to 7 games, so good teams. Let's just start
like
with
teams that you
let's start 2014
Heat in the past. Yeah.
Well,
absolutely. They had to play the Pacers. I think they went 7 with the Pacers.
2010 Lakers, since we were also talking about that since
the final series was that's
very true.
Was a 7-game series, but they also went 7 with somebody else.
Let me see.
Granted, I do think the Celtics that year, I think the Celtics could have won the chip. Like that Celtics team was really good.
2014 Spurs.
Yeah.
Who did they go 7 with?
The Dallas Mavericks in 2014.
Yes.
And I was like, I've looked all this stuff up. I'm like, bro, I was looking this up last night. I'm like, did the Spurs do it? Yeah, they almost lost to the Mavericks in like the first or second round. That Mavericks team like wasn't crazy good. It was just a bad matchup. Give me like one.
2017 Warriors.
17? Nah.
That's the first KD year that they got.
Yeah,
to the
nah. They ran.
yeah,
They ran. They ran through. They ran through.
Running shit.
What were they? They were like 16-1 or something like that.
16-1, yeah. That's the best record all time. Yeah,
that's the best team I've ever seen. The best team I've ever seen.
That's the greatest team of all time, easily. Yeah. But yeah. So, did you want to say how you think the series will go if the Knicks end up pulling off a 3-1 comeback to make the NBA Finals?
I think the Thunder sweep them niggas, man.
You think so?
I think so.
I wouldn't.
I think that is. I mean, like
Brunson. You don't think Brunson get him one?
Maybe, but like we've seen Brunson score 40 before and they lose. So like,
yeah,
it's not a Brunson thing to me. It's just the Thunder throw so much at you. They just have so much that the Knicks don't have. The Knicks run 6 guys, well, maybe 7 now. They started playing Deuce more and they started playing Shaman a little bit more, but like Case and Wallace gonna cook them, bro.
Right?
Yeah. Like Case and Wallace and Alex Caruso is gonna fry them.
Yeah,
lock them up. Like, it's no. To me, I just feel like, and who's guarding Shea? Mikhail? OG? J Dub's going for 30.
Yeah. I guess if you put, it's
and they and they truly don't have anybody for Chet. Like, I don't think Cat can guard Chet.
No, to me, it's like to the point with Shea where it's like, I'm not even putting, like, he's going to get 30, you know? Like, I'm not you can put whoever you want on him.
Defender on him, though.
You
have to.
I do. Like, if he's going to get 30 anyway, he can get 35, 40, whatever. I'd probably rather just try and lock down Dub. Make sure.
Okay, so you go put your third best defender on Shea. He scores 30 on 12 of 15 shooting. Instead of you putting your best defender on it, man, he might have 30, but he might shoot 10 for 25.
But he just doesn't really ever do that. Like he scores a pretty efficient 30, 28, 35. Like he's usually getting
in the playoffs.
He's usually taking like 18 shots, making 9 of them and making 13 free throws and get his way to 30. So it's like, damn, I don't even know if I'm gonna waste OG Anunoby on Shea. But like, I'm sure that's what Tibbs would do. But I just feel like you're guaranteed a Shea 30 regardless. So like, I'm trying to stop Dub. I'm trying to make sure Alex Caruso ain't going 3 for 5 from 3. I'm trying to make sure Lou Dort ain't having no 5-3 games. That's what I'm trying to do. But
that's the way teams basically stop the Nuggets too. Like, I've seen teams be like, yeah, yo, you can take all the shots you want, bro. As long as Jamal Murray and Aaron Gordon don't get off, we good.
Yeah.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
I always struggle picking a sweep in a series because it's like, damn, anything could happen. Like, anything could happen. But I am gonna say, if the Knicks get to the finals, off the 3-1 comeback though, they might be bugging at MSG. I'm gonna say,
if they come back from 3-1,
right? Like
OKC in 6.
Okay,
just on momentum alone.
I give them a game off the 3-1
because they don't have no rest. They coming right in it. Well, they might get smacked game 1 because that's just tough. But who knows? They might, come off the 3-1, just have rhythm, come in the OKC and win a game.
Yeah, I'm saying if Knicks come back and make the finals, I'd probably say OKC in 5. They're currently beating the Pacers by 11, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, all of the Tyrese Haliburton stuff kind of got me thinking, like, damn, who are the top 10 players in the NBA heading into next season? And so I'm curious. Okay. I would like to. I'll go first. Actually, I'll go first.
So just list off your honorable mentions and your 10, and then I'll give you my 10, and then we discuss.
Okay, so I find it hard to believe that Tyrese Haliburton isn't a top 10 player heading into next year. My honorable mentions in my top 10 going into next year. There is a little bit of like projecting who these players become next year, but my honorable mentions: Anthony Davis, Stephen Curry, Cade Cunningham, Donovan Mitchell are the first four out for me. So running down my top 10, I have Nikola Jokic.
You have this in order?
Yes, this is in pure order. This is in order from 1 to 10. My top 10, number 1, Nikola Jokic. Number 2, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Number 3, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Number 4, Luka Doncic. Number 5, Anthony Edwards. Number 6, Victor Wembanyama. Number 7, Kevin Durant. Number 8, Jalen Brunson. Number 9, Tyrese Haliburton. And number 10, LeBron James. I will say, obviously, Tatum is not in here because he's not going to play.
He cannot qualify. Yes.
He does not qualify. But if he wasn't here, he'd probably take the Anthony Edwards spot for me. But there you go. He bumped everyone down.
I think he would take one of KD or Braun.
I think Jason Tatum peak top 5. So like I'd probably have him top 5. But he's not in here. That's my top 10. Tyrese Haliburton over LeBron feels fucking insane.
Crazy.
But that is how I feel heading into next year. Based on what we've seen in this playoff run throughout the season, I think it's hard to keep Tyrese Haliburton out of my top 10. But what is your top
10? So honorable mentions: AD, Steph, Paolo, Booker, Cade, Embiid if healthy, and Tyrese. Just because I get it, like your team went to the finals, you took your team to the finals. But I think, and I'm not trying to discredit what he's doing, but I do think like there are anomaly cases and rare cases. Like I think of the way I look at this team, is kind of like how people look at the 2004 Pistons. Like you can't name a superstar on that team, right? But that team was elite defensively, and there was a clear best player. Like their clear best player was Chauncey Billups. And if Tyrese Haliburton is Chauncey Billups, I think he's better than Chauncey Billups. But if he's the Chauncey Billups of this scenario, that's perfectly fine. Like I don't think we have to push that narrative so soon. Now, if he goes in the finals and averages a damn triple-double, you got it, bro. Or like averaging 30 and 10 with 1 turnover and doing stuff we've never seen before, cool. But as of today, I would probably put him like 11 or 12, which I think is respectable. I think that's fine. My top 10 in order: Jokic, SGA, Giannis. I feel like those 3 are locks. Luka 4, Wemby 5.
Okay.
Because I think Wemby, I think him healthy, he's the best two-way player in the league, better than Giannis. Just because his rim protection is so elite. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that before. 6, I have Brunson. 7, I have Ant. This might be controversial. 7, I have Donovan Mitchell. I think he just got the
Donovan
shit
Mitchell,
end of
7 or 8?
8. My bad.
Uh-huh.
I think this playoffs, he just got the shit end of the stick. Like you get to the playoffs, your second best player is hurt. Your starter point guard is hurt. It's kind of tough. He did average 29 in the playoffs. He did have a few 40-point games. So like we know what he can do. He's pretty consistent when it comes to the playoffs. It's just a tough pill to swallow. I understand if people don't have him top 10. I have him top 10 just off of what he did in the playoffs. And honestly, like I can't fault him for losing against a better Indiana team when he didn't have all his soldiers with him, you know. And then 9, I have KD. 10, I have Braun.
9, I have KD. 10, I have Braun. Okay, cool. I think we're on pretty much the same page. The Brunson is high. 6 for Brunson.
You think that's high?
You don't think Ant better than
But
Brunson?
when we did that, would you rather? I did say Brunson over Ant.
You did.
I said I know what Brunson's gonna give me game to game for the most part.
That's true. I can't get there. I think he's better than Hallie, but I respect it. I think for me, my Tyrese Haliburton thing, like I struggle to make the case for any player to make a firm case that any player I didn't say should be better than him. Like I was going really back and forth on Donovan Mitchell, and I don't know, bro. Like back-to-back Eastern Conference Finals appearances for Hallie. It's not like the Hawks season, like he's now done it twice. He's now going to the finals.
But I will say last year they were fortunate. Like last year I felt like they were just able to get through because they played a lot of teams that just weren't healthy. And granted, they played the Cavs that weren't healthy, but then they played a fully healthy Knicks team. So I mean, all the controversy and criticism about not playing healthy teams and just skating through the East kind of just go to bed once you realize they beat a Knicks team that beat the Celtics.
And then a lot of people forget, Hallie got hurt in that Celtics series. Like he missed a lot of that series. And so like
I forgot. Shit.
Yeah, like they were playing that series with Andrew Nembhard as their best player. And so I think like to come off of that, come back, let's assume he goes to the finals. He now has he got a finals appearance on his jacket. Like a lot of people in his tier don't have that. And so I do have to, and it's not like he's the second best player, third best. He's the best player on that team by far. And so I'm putting him over the Donovan Mitchells. I'm putting him over the Evan Mobleys. I'm like, being the best player on a championship team isn't something Anthony Davis can say. It's not something that Cade Cunningham can currently say. It's not something that it is something that Devin Booker can say.
So if you were doing a draft, like a fantasy draft, and you were like an NBA team doing a fantasy draft, you would take Tyrese Haliburton over all those names you just said? Because that's basically what, like, because you're saying like he's a championship player, but that's why I use this Pistons comparison, because I'm like, he is the best player on his team for sure. I don't think Siakam is bad. Like I think Siakam's a great second option to have when the rest of the team is so balanced. But like, how great do you think he is in terms of like leading a franchise,
just like individual
year after year after year?
Yeah, I think I would take him over Book at this point. Whoa, that feels crazy to say. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, bro. This is what we was talking about last week, bro. I don't know. It's tough. I think he benefits from
appearance.
Book has a finals appearance.
And so it's like, okay, and he was up 2-1. He was 2 games away from a chip. Like, damn. But I will say, at this point in time, yeah, fuck it. I would take him over Book. I would take him over Donovan Mitchell. I probably would. I'd probably take him over Donovan Mitchell. I'd take him over Anthony Davis. The person I have the most trouble saying I wouldn't take him over is Cade, if I'm being dead ass honest with you. And I don't even think Cade's not in my top 12 next season. But if I'm talking player for player, like I really like the player that Cade can become. But right now, a
lot of people are on Cade.
Tyrese Haliburton is top 10 for me. I think if anyone should be pissed, it's Donovan Mitchell, because I do think he has a decent case of like, I'm the best player on this team. We just won 65 games. I came into this playoff run missing half of my starting lineup. I had 40 in a game and we still lost. Yeah. It's like, I do, and he's a two-way player. So like, I do think he has a decent case. I
think he has a great case. And I think that two-way thing definitely holds some weight. Like half of the guys in my top 10, maybe like 40% of the guys in the top 10 that I have are two-way guys, like Giannis, Wemby, Ant, Spider, and then Braun sometimes, KD sometimes, but like, and SGA, I guess SGA is a two-way player.
He's a two-way guy, yeah. The only
guys that I really have issues with is the two white men.
Yeah.
Luka and Jokic.
Luka, Brunson not playing no defense.
Well, he's 6'1".
Wait, we not giving him bail? You say you're top 6 player.
But I'm saying, hey, give him the benefit of the doubt. Brunson burner. Dude averaging 30. Like, sometimes all that energy he expends on offense, I don't expect him to be able to play defense consistently anyways.
Yeah, I think consensus wise we have a lot of the same players. So I'm glad there's a consensus top 4 players in the NBA. Shout out Luka Doncic, and then after that, it gets kind of whoever you pick your poison kind of thing. And so yeah, next topic I want to talk about is, speaking of pick your poison. I've seen a lot of people compare 2025 Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to 2007 Kobe, and so I wanted to talk 2025 Shai, 2007 Kobe, both their MVP seasons. Who did you think had the better season?
Oh, you can start because we're on opposite sides. So you go ahead.
Okay, I want to preface this by saying I was 9 years old.
Nah, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that.
I want to preface this by saying I was 9 years old when Kobe had his MVP season. So
that's fine. So was I.
I was not watching basketball in the same way that I'm watching it at 26. I just want to make that clear. So when I say what I'm saying, that's not to be blasphemous. Kobe Bryant is my favorite player of all time. He is currently right up there on my wall. I will eventually have some sort of tat that is related to him. I want to make that clear. He's my GOAT. But I find it very difficult to make a case that he had a better MVP season than Shai, other than I think he carried a far worse team to the finals. Other than that, I don't really see many ways that Shai doesn't win. And this is not me saying that Shai is a better player peak for peak than Kobe. I think Shai is not even close to touching Kobe Bryant as a player. I think Shai has not peaked at the level of defense that Kobe has amassed. I think he is one of the best two-way players ever, one of the top 4 two-way guards ever. In this MVP season he was also all defensive first team, and then he rattled off 4 straight more all defensive first teams. So like Kobe as a defender, I don't think Shai's touching that. But outside of that, I do think this was a better season. Shai leads in points, he leads in assists, he leads in blocks, he leads in field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, free throw percentage, effective field goal percentage. If you want to go like totals and say Shai's a free throw merchant, Shai took almost 100 less free throws than Kobe in 6 less games. So you know, if at most they would have been the same. And if you want to talk advanced stats, Shai did have a higher usage percentage, but he also did have a higher offensive win shares, total win shares, offensive box plus minus, defensive box plus minus. Like, he just had a better season than Kobe, and that's okay. I think that's okay to say. That doesn't mean that he's a better player, but season for season, I think it's hard to tell me that Kobe Bryant had a better MVP season than 32.7 point per game scoring leader, all NBA first team, Western Conference Finals MVP, possible Finals MVP.
If you don't throw that Western Conference Finals MVP out the window, my man, that shit became an award 3 years ago. We do not count those.
Okay, so that is my case.
Yeah.
Where do you stand? Where do you stand?
All right, man. Listen. I am of the belief that the hardest, or maybe the most even-killed era of basketball is the late 2000s. So like 2005 to let's just say 2005 to 2010. And in this era, the West was notoriously known as the better conference by far. How good was the West, you ask? Oh man. In 2007-2008 season, the Lakers were the number 1 seed, but I have to remind you, the Lakers did not have Pau Gasol halfway through the season. They traded for Pau Gasol. They had Kwame Brown, and I don't even remember who else was in that trade for half the year. So Kobe's playing with Kwame Brown and Lamar Odom. No disrespect to Lamar Odom, but like I don't remember who else was on that team before they made that trade. And Pau Gasol comes in midway through the season and honestly changes the whole trajectory of their season. But at the same time, so like I was saying, the West is very difficult. The Lakers were the number 1 seed with 57 wins. The 8th seed, Denver Nuggets had 50 wins. That is insane. That is how difficult the Western Conference was that year specifically. Like, I'm going down, 2 seed had 56, 3 seed 56, 4 seed 54, 5 and 6 55. I don't know how that works. I think there was a back then divisional records meant more than your actual record, so you got priority, and I think they changed that later down the line. But if I'm the 48 win Golden State Warriors and I was the 9 seed, and then I look at the East and the Atlanta Hawks with 37 wins made the playoffs, I'm going nuts. Anyway, let's see. Kobe in 2007, 2008. Jesus, why did it? Okay, so my page is not loading. That's fantastic.
You were cooking.
Give me like 2 seconds. I was cooking. Averaged 28 points on. Now, Kobe's not an efficiency darling, so 46% from the field, 36% from three, which for Kobe, and on the back end of his prime, like towards the end of his peak, I would say, he was shooting a very respectable percentage from three. In an MVP season where you're also obviously first team All NBA, first team All Defensive, most guys can't say that. And I think to do it in a West that I feel was way more competitive and way more difficult than what I've just seen the Thunder go through. Like, they smoked the Memphis Grizzlies. Like, they were the clear best team in the NBA. Like, that season, I feel like everybody thought it was the Boston Celtics, which it probably was because they smoked the Lakers in the finals. They played the Carmelo Anthony and Allen Iverson Nuggets in the first round. And then, I may be wrong about this, but I believe they played the Houston Rockets in the second round. So, like, and then they end up playing, I don't know, I always get these mixed up. But anyway, you're in all 3 rounds of the playoffs. You play 50-win teams. Like, that is absurd. If anyone else did this, we would be sitting here like, oh my God, it's the greatest run of NBA history. Oh my goodness. So, like, and when you line them up side by side, Shea's numbers are going to look better because he plays in a more offensive heavy era and his playing style is a little bit different as to where Kobe was known for taking insane shots, low quality shots. But at the end of the day, for this being his first MVP season at the age of 29, playing all 82 games, respectable efficiency, number 1 seed, all defensive player, all-star, all NBA first team. Like, I can't listen, bro. I can't. And he technically did it with 2 different teams because that team that they were in the finals with was not the team they began the season with.
And I get that. I think my combat there would be this West is also pretty loaded. The 8 seed Grizzlies had 48 wins. And Shea did it in his age 26 season. And I was looking at who Shea, when you think at like who Shea had to be better than to win MVP this year, Shea had to be better than Nikola Jokic. Like, the top 3 in MVP voting were Shea, Nikola Jokic, Giannis Antetokounmpo. The top 3 in MVP voting in 2007, 2008 were Kobe, Chris Paul, Kevin Garnett. I think we would both say Jokic and Giannis are both better career players than Chris Paul and KG. So, like, for Shea to win the MVP, come on now, don't do that. Don't do that.
But KG is in like the conversation for.
I think you can make a KG case
and Jokic. Like, even though he has an MVP, he has an MVP, he has a chip, he has a defensive player of the year. Like, KG is one of the best 2-way players of all time.
Jokic got
granted he
got a back-to-back 3 MVPs.
I get you, but I'm telling you that this, like, being a 2-way player holds more weight than like you just being a offensive juggernaut, which sometimes you can get away with, which Jokic is. But I'm saying like him. I'm saying more so KG and Giannis.
Yeah, I think KG Giannis is definitely a conversation. Like, I think Giannis Dirk is a conversation. Like, I think all 3 of them are a conversation.
Yeah.
I just think like the players Shea had to be better than to win this MVP is a little bit more impressive. And
I mean, Kobe also had to be better than LeBron James.
That's true. He was fourth in MVP voting. See, I
Had to be
conveniently
better.
didn't put that one in there.
Fortunately for Kobe, D Wade was hurt that year, so he didn't have to go against D Wade. But Carmelo Anthony had to be better than Carmelo Anthony. Had to be better than Dwight Howard. These are all
He was
guys that
fifth.
are all top 75 players of all time.
Hall
So
of
I mean,
Famers.
Hall of Famers, exactly. Shout out Melo and
Yeah.
Dwight Howard, who just made it. Like it can go either way to me. I feel like if Kobe played today, his numbers might look a little similar. Like his field goal percentage might be a little lower, but I think him averaging, if you told me Kobe averaged 33 in a season in the age 28, 29, I'd be like, yeah, of course.
Yeah. I always think it is tough comparing eras. I think that's where you, because like the style of
I hate it.
basketball played is just so different.
Yeah.
The pace is different. The shots people are taking is different. The coaching is different. The defenses are different. It's just so the foul, like it's just so different.
I think it was harder to score in the era than in Kobe's era than it is to score right now.
Yeah, I think that's
so.
Fair.
That's part of the reason why I give him the edge, because like 27 or 28 points per game back then was like top 3 in the league. So,
damn,
like you scored 30, you averaged 30. I know you're sick.
I hate being on the outside of a Kobe gas session. But
I didn't think you were picking Shea. I thought I was gonna have to pivot to pick Shea.
Out of nowhere, I've just become a Shea guy because I hate the free throw discourse. Like I want him to win at this point. Yeah, like I want him to win at this point.
It's gotten so bad that like during Thunder games, Doris Burke is like, this is why they call him the free throw merchant. But I think she's doing it as like a sign of endearment, kind of sort of. Like she's not saying like, oh, he's like getting bailed out. She's like, he's just great at drawing fouls. But everybody on Twitter is like,
is kind of dog shit. I'm not gonna lie. Other than Mike Breen, bro.
ESPN?
Yeah, other than Mike Breen.
I don't feel like Mike Breen's harder than it, bro. Ever since they fired Mark Jackson and
I just like
Van Gundy.
That's really it. That's the only thing I'm listening for. You can watch that
Mike
shit
Breen
on mute.
Gonna retire soon.
Yeah. You can watch that shit on mute as far as I'm concerned and be cool. I probably should have did this after the top 10, but in making the top 10 list, I kind of realized like, damn, Joel Embiid did not even come to my mind. And so I wanted to ask you, since he wasn't in your list either, we're going to do a little bit of a Joel Embiid would you rather. So I'm going to say a player. You tell me if you think they are currently better. Well, no, I'm going to re-saying that. Hold on. 48 minutes. Okay. I'm going to say a player. You tell me if you would take them over Joel Embiid, just player for player at this point in time.
If Joel Embiid is healthy.
If Joel Embiid is healthy, both healthy, who are you taking, Joel Embiid or this player I'm going to name? So number 1 is Donovan Mitchell.
Ooh, I think I would take Embiid. If Embiid is healthy, I'm taking Embiid. Embiid is better than a lot of dudes when he's right.
Okay.
And people know that. It's just that he's never playing. So who's next?
Joel Embiid or Evan Mobley?
Embiid.
Joel Embiid or Anthony Davis?
Embiid.
Joel Embiid or Kawhi Leonard?
Embiid.
I think you're going to say Embiid for all of them at this point because it only gets worse.
Because in my head, like Embiid healthy, like is 27 points a game, 10, 11 rebounds, 2 blocks.
Joel
like,
Embiid
I don't think. Ooh. Joel Embiid healthy is maybe the second best two-way center in basketball. So, I would slight edge Brunson. Like,
okay,
like, it's close though. It's close. That's close.
Joel Embiid or LeBron?
Oh, niggas gonna kill me for this one. I think I would take Embiid over LeBron. Like, if I knew Embiid's knees were intact, brother, this is what this is all about.
Joel Embiid or Anthony Edwards?
I think I would take Ant.
Okay. Joel Embiid or Steph Curry?
Embiid.
Joel Embiid or Cat?
Embiid.
And yeah, I guess that's it. Because I had a bunch of worse players listed here because I thought you might not pick Embiid. So I had to pivot and ask you better players. But wow, shout out to you. So
Nah,
fully healthy,
I think
Joel
like
Embiid is top 5 for you?
no. He's like top. I would put him in my top 10 somewhere. He's not top 5 though. I think him fully healthy. Granted, we haven't seen that in like 2 years, but one of the best two-way players in basketball. Like he definitely changes the way Philly plays, just the way they approach the game, and he can give you 30 any night. He's scored 70 in a game at his peak. So I mean, like he's really talented, bro. It's just he's never healthy. That's the caveat. Like we can sit here and people are gonna go crazy when they watch the TikTok. And the caveat is if Embiid is healthy, which he never is.
Yeah. I'll make sure that that's in the beginning. It is if Embiid is healthy, because they're gonna be like, oh, this guy's taking Embiid over LeBron. He doesn't even fucking watch basketball. Like, yo. So, the other would you rather I wanted to do was because we talked about my GOAT in Kobe, so we've got to now talk about your GOAT, Dwayne Wade, Mr. D Wade himself. Do you want to do peak for peak? I guess we got to do peak for peak. We're just doing player for player.
If we do peak for peak, this shit might go nuts. Man, okay, go ahead.
Okay, peak for peak, both in their prime. Would you rather have Dwayne Wade or this player that I'm about to name? Dwayne Wade or Dirk Nowitzki?
D Wade.
D Wade or Russell Westbrook?
D Wade.
D Wade or Kawhi Leonard?
Prime
Kawhi, two-way Kawhi, Claw, Toronto game
D-Wade,
winner,
two-way D Wade, 38 in the finals. D Wade, 30 points a game in regular season with Jermaine O'Neal's his second option. D Wade going toe to toe with Braun. D Wade.
Yeah.
Okay, when Braun didn't show up in the finals, averaging 27. D Wade, that D Wade. Yeah, I'm taking D
Wade. Okay. D Wade or James Harden?
D Wade.
D Wade or Derrick Rose?
D Wade.
D Wade or Kyrie Irving?
D Wade.
D Wade or Steve Nash?
D Wade.
D Wade or Carmelo?
D Wade.
D Wade or Allen Iverson?
D Wade.
D Wade or Tracy McGrady?
Dwayne Wade.
D Wade or Luka Doncic?
Nigga, what are we doing? What are we doing?
That's an easy D Wade for you?
Yes.
Okay.
Luka doesn't have a championship, bro. He doesn't have an MVP championship.
I'm saying just peak for peak, player for player.
What is Luka's peak?
32,
34 in the regular season, like
32, 9 and 9. Not moving you. That's not cool.
D Wade's giving me 36 and 6.
With defense, you could.
With defense.
I got 3 more. D Wade or Paul Pierce?
D Wade.
D Wade or Kevin Durant?
KD.
Oh, yes, ladies and gentlemen, we fucking got him.
Yeah, there had to be some type of gap at some point. I was like, these players got to get better, right?
D Wade or Giannis?
Giannis.
Boom. That's all I got for you.
See?
D Wade or Kevin Durant? I mean, D Wade or Kevin Garnett?
Ooh. They literally probably, like, if I had like a top 30 of all time, they probably won right behind the other. Damn, Brunson. Damn, that's tough.
No finals MVP for KG.
But he has the regular season MVP. He's got Defensive Player of the Year.
True.
He's got his chip. That's even, bro. That's even to me. I would pick
Okay.
either one. Like one day I might say KG, one day I might say D Wade. That's pretty even to me. And I would like to say, I think Dwayne Wade is the most underrated player now in maybe NBA history. I don't think he gets nearly enough respect as he should, just because his prime wasn't that long. But we are literally like a LeBron 8-point finals game away from D Wade having 2 finals MVPs and 4 chips. So I mean, he was that guy for a while. Like he came in the league year 1, got Miami to the playoffs. Year 2, Shaq comes and they almost make the finals. The only reason they didn't was because Wade got hurt. Year 3, they go win a chip against prime Dirk Nowitzki and the Mavericks, who had like 55 wins. And the next year, that same Mavs team was the 1 seed, and Dirk won MVP. So I mean, and then he struggled with injuries for a little bit, got healthy, and then was in MVP conversations. Unfortunately, you going up against LeBron, that's kind of tough.
Yeah,
and then LeBron comes, and there was an argument that like him and LeBron were the 2 best players in basketball. Like,
then he went to the
if you saying
Bulls.
LeBron is 1, like, huh?
Then he went to the Chicago Bulls.
He did go to the Chicago Bulls, and he was solid for the
Bulls. Then he went to the Cleveland Cavaliers,
and he was ass on the Cavaliers.
But
you know what? There was a period after Braun, like 2015, 2016, where he was really solid and people did not really care. And Miami was making the playoffs and nobody gave a fuck just because Braun wasn't there and everybody was like back on the Braun hype train again since he was in Cleveland.
He got to have that. He got to have his last moment, the little Wade County game winner, get him on the joint.
He
got
to
have his moment. Yeah.
And on the Warriors.
Yeah. And then he gets that last possession guarding LeBron. Well, no, LeBron guarding him for the game versus us. And then he throws the ball in the air at the end. That's an elite possession. That's fire. We did bust y'all last though. And so
I don't remember the game, so I'm sure y'all did.
No, we didn't bust your ass. It came down to a possible D Wade game winner. He just missed it. And so, yeah, the last would you rather, I was going back and forth on it, but I do want to do a would you rather for Kobe. It is.
Is this still peak for peak?
It's peak for peak because, like, there's realistically at most 9 players better than him all time. So, like, there's just not a lot of leeway there. So, peak for peak, Kobe Bryant or this player I'm about to name, player for player, who would you rather have? Kobe Bryant or Dwayne Wade?
Kobe. D-Wade used to give that nigga work, though. I'll tell you that much.
They used to have battles.
Battles, bro.
Battles.
30 apiece.
Yeah, that was fire. I feel like we don't got nothing like that in the league no more. We don't really got no shooting guard battles. Like, it's not.
Yeah. Like, we used to have mellow Braun, too. We don't really got that anymore.
We don't got that no more. We had Jokic and Embiid for a second, but they wasn't really rocking.
Every time they play each other, one of them's not playing.
Yeah, they wasn't really rocking with it. Kobe
maybe
or
Wemby Giannis is the new one.
It feels like they're too, like, Wemby's just getting to his peak, and Giannis is probably just about to leave it. Maybe Shea Ant maybe could be a new one. Maybe. But Kobe or Kevin Garnett?
Kobe
or Giannis Antetokounmpo?
Kobe.
Kobe or Steph Curry? That's a tough one.
That is tough. But Kobe's one of the best two-way guards of all time, bro.
That's true. You couldn't.
Like Pete Kobe is a multiple-time first-team All-Defensive player.
Kobe or Kevin Durant?
Kobe.
Kobe or Shaq?
Shaq.
Ooh, okay.
Shaq was too dominant, bro.
Kobe or Tim Duncan?
Slight edge to. I feel like, bro, their resumes are damn near the
That's the
same.
debate. That's the debate.
Um,
I feel like it's really just preference. For me, I'm taking Kobe.
but I feel like Kobe. I don't know. I feel like Kobe is more so the guy that you would pick if you needed him to lead your team over Tim Duncan, just because like Tim Duncan could get his bucket, and Tim Duncan basically could do whatever he wants in the post. But at the same time, like Kobe's just a tougher shot maker, and I would say they're both. I don't know, bro. That is neck and neck. That's crazy. I'm like, every time I present one side, I'm like, but then that's tough. I give like slight edge to Kobe, but shout out Tim Duncan. Maybe the most underrated player all time after D Wade.
Kobe or Larry Bird?
I mean, it's tough when you I didn't really watch Larry play, but Larry was that guy, and the Celtics went to 5-6 finals. Larry has 3 chips. Kobe.
Yeah, I'd lean Kobe too.
Kobe.
Just to get the Lakers ones out the way, Kobe or Magic?
Magic.
Kobe or Kareem?
Kareem.
And Kobe or LeBron?
LeBron.
And then obviously I think Kobe or Jordan.
Jordan over Kobe. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. And so boom. There's our would you rathers. The last thing I want to talk about, and I am going to share my screen for this, but it is about Team USA basketball in 2028, because I've seen a lot of people say that Team USA basketball might be cooked. France is going to smoke us. Serbia is going to destroy us. All these things. Luka playing for Slovenia. Great. I think a lot of people are doubting what we have, but I guess the main question is USA basketball cooked in 2028? And so I'm going to share my screen because I put together this graphic for FanDuel with what might potentially be the roster. But you're going to have to work with me real quick. So this is the roster that I had put together for Team USA in 2028. It is, maybe you take Jalen Brunson out because he'll be like 32 or whatever. Maybe you replace Zion with like Jaylen Brown. Maybe Bam doesn't want to play. You put Evan Mobley in there. Maybe you take, Jalen Williams out. But for the most part, maybe Anthony Davis wants to play. Maybe KD wants to play. But for the most part, I feel like this is probably going to be the bulk of the Team USA roster. It's going to be led by Ant, probably Hallie because he was on this year's. Probably Cade, probably Paolo, most likely Cooper Flag. And so I wanted to ask you, if this is the team, let's just say this is the team, do you really think that we're not going to be able to get gold? Because I think a lot of people are like, oh my God, France is going to smoke us. But I think we would still destroy every other team.
Yeah, France might smoke us, bro. Because we did just watch us almost lose with KD and Braun and Steph basically having to just be like, yo, y'all young boys, sit down and watch us go to work. So they went toe to toe with Jokic. They went toe to toe with Wemby, who is really he's 21 right now. So this would be prime Wemby with I don't know who else, other French players, maybe they still have Frank Ntilikina playing point guard, and they probably some other young guys that get drafted. I don't think Nick Batum will be playing basketball at that point, or Evan Fournier will be playing basketball at that point. But it's just the fact that we saw this past Olympics got teams that clearly from top to bottom were not as good as we were, but Slovenia, or not Slovenia, Croatia was cooking us at one point. Bogdanovic was
South
going
Sudan
crazy.
was giving us
Sudan was giving us work. So I don't think it's and I think part of us being look at this roster, look at all these NBA players. That's just part of the American arrogance that we have when it comes to basketball. Basketball is an American sport, and for so long we were the premier talent pool of the NBA, and that's not the case anymore. Like the best players in the NBA are all international players. The best American player is maybe 6 or 7 at the moment. Like, so, and I mean, granted, you probably have 6 through 15, maybe, but like, if you're playing like if you're playing against Canada, let's say Canada, they're probably gonna have Shade, have RJ Barrett, they have Lou Dort, they have
Nemhard.
There's somebody I'm forgetting. Nikhil, like that team is
Dylan
really
Brooks.
good, bro. Dylan Brooks probably won't be playing, but is my question for you: is there anybody on this team, like on this graphic, that you think would not play besides the names that you said? Like you said, Zion might not play, Bam might not play. Are there any of the guards outside of Brunson you think wouldn't play? I don't know if Donovan Mitchell would play.
I don't think maybe Donovan Mitchell.
I don't know if they bring in. I mean, obviously, I feel like you have to bring in Tatum.
Trae Young. You could bring Trae Young in.
Nah.
You could bring
maybe Ja if he wanted to do it.
Ja. You can bring a LaMelo if you want. I don't know if he's playing.
They don't want LaMelo.
Yeah, I think they want LaMelo in foreign countries.
No.
I think probably. I guess you could make the same case for Ja, but like I think Ja's probably the one. Ja or Trae Young.
I don't think the team is gonna look like this at all.
You don't think so?
The team's gonna look. Nah, because like I remember that year, it had to be like 2020, 2021, something like that, where we just stacked stars on top of stars on top of stars, and we got smoked. It was like Dames, Tatum, Bam was in there. I don't remember if Steph wasn't there. I think Steph was hurt. But like the team that just won the gold is pretty balanced. Like you had Drew Holiday and Derek White, who were like role players in the NBA, so they knew how to play their role when it came to the Olympics.
Reeves in here, boy.
No, like literally anybody, like any two-way guard. Like I obviously, but you have some, and I think the default is like, all right, just pick the 15 best players you can find. In reality, like the teams that have won outside of maybe that 2012 team, and the 2016 team, like the Redeem team had guys that just knew how to play their role. If you don't have guys that don't know how to play their role, which I feel like watching Donovan Mitchell and Anthony Edwards and Cade Cunningham and Jalen Brunson try to figure out who's taking all the shots, and don't forget Tatum trying to take shots and Paolo's trying to take shots. Like I don't feel like Zion would be an issue with that. I don't think J-Dub would be an issue with that, or no, we don't know what Cooper Flag looks like in the league, but like I think Chet and Bam are cool with everybody else taking shots. But all the guards here outside of Tyrese Haliburton are all like primary scorers for their team. So I don't know.
I think Cade would be cool dishing. But that's why I think Trae Young would be decent. But like he's a cone. So,
yeah, I was. They got to find two-way guys.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think they figured out that they can't just stack the team just based on talent. Like you gotta have guys that want to buy in. Like everybody on the team, probably 90% of the team is going to be Hall of Famers or Hall of Famers to be. You just got to have like one or two guys that going to buy into a role.
Like if I look at this team, right? Like I agree with you, but if I'm saying like, if I look at this team, which is like basically all-star players, I don't see how people can be like, oh, we're going to get smoked. Like I think a lot of people look at that because like the comments or the replies or the people that look at this team and say aren't saying like we need role players. They're saying like this talent isn't enough for us to win, which I just don't think is the case, because I think a lot of people look at this last team and they think like, oh, we had Steph, we had KD, we had Bron, we had Booker. But like, yo, bro, in 2020, Keldon Johnson, Zach LaVine, JaVale McGee, Chris Middleton, all guys with gold medals. In 2016, Klay Thompson, DeMar DeRozan, Harrison Barnes, DeAndre Jordan, Kyle Lowry. In 2012, the 2012 roster was pretty stacked. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm saying, outside of that 2012 roster, which basically had all stars, all NBA players, like that 2016 team, you said Kyle Lowry and Harrison Barnes. Like you need guys like that, like guys that might just sit in the corner and shoot a three and play some defense, or Kyle Lowry, who's not going to take a lot of shots and he's just going to set guys up. Like the reason the Redeem team worked is because they had Jason Kidd and Chris Paul, who was like, you know what? Maybe two of the purest point guards you'll ever find in NBA history. And they're fine with letting Kobe, D. Wade, Braun, and Melo go crazy. Yeah, and Dwight Howard is there. Dwight Howard and Chris Bosh are there to snatch the boards and put it back up or throw it back out. Same thing with Carlos Boozer. Like the team, you got to know how to pick a role. And a lot of these dudes just take 20 shots a game. They so used to like, yo, I got to get mine. Especially like Ant and Brunson play hero ball a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Brunson for the Olympics is tough because like he's a cone and like I'm not sitting there in the corner so he can get to the free throw line. I'm not doing it. So I think it's tough. I do think also when people look at this though, they look at these players and think like this version of them that we're watching. But like this is 3 seasons away. So like this is projecting who these guys will be in 2028. Like in 2028,
Paolo will probably be at his peak.
Edwards could be the best shooting guard in the league. You know, like Cade could be the best point guard.
Haliburton, Tyrese might be the best point guard in the league. Like we never know.
Like you don't know these things. Like Cooper Flagg will be in year 3. So like I'm not gonna say he's gonna be this crazy thing, but like Jason Tatum at 20, he'll be like 30 to 31 maybe. Probably he 30. Could be the best player in the league, period. You know, so it's like we don't know what these guys are gonna look like in 3 years. There does have to be a little bit of like projecting their ceilings. But I think if this is the team, even if you replace them with some role plays, you throw some Derek White, you throw some Asar Thompsons, some Amen Thompsons, whatever. I think Amen
Thompson makes the team. Yeah, maybe both of them make the team.
Yeah, maybe they do. They said they might play for Jamaica, but good luck qualifying. So yeah, I think that they you know, like come on, let's be real here. Like, what are we talking about?
Nah, you're right.
I think they play for USA. And I think that they both probably qualify. Because I think Amen 3 years from now is probably a more polished scorer. And I think they immediately walk in and they're probably the two best defenders on the team. Yeah, on the team. Yeah. So
I would say them, J-Dub, and Bam and Chet.
Yeah.
Like the 5 best defenders on the team based off this graphic. Yeah.
Exactly. Depending on what Cooper becomes, we'll see. But like, yeah. That is the NBA 2028 discussion. Regardless, I think we smack Serbia. I think we smack France. Wemby is going to be a problem. He's going to be a problem regardless. So we could bring the 20th greatest players in NBA history, and Wemby would still be a problem. So like that's not going to do anything. But yeah. So yeah, that's going to do it for this episode of the Run It Up podcast. Make sure you guys subscribe to the pod everywhere that podcasts are found. Leave a 5-star rating and review. You can find us on Twitter at The Run It Up Pod, on TikTok at The Run It Up Podcast. Find us on basically everywhere you listen to podcasts. You find me on Twitter at Najee Adams _, Jalal on Twitter at JSandy45. Follow us and subscribe on YouTube as well. And without further ado, yeah, we need them YouTube subs. So make sure you guys
subscribing after that.
Yeah, damn, fuck, I have to cut it. Yeah. But yeah, I hope you guys have a litty day, a litty night, a litty life. And just like we do on every episode of this podcast, make sure y'all go run it up.